because I feel, hold on, let me get this out here. Can I toss this to you? Can you catch?
You like throw the water.
Julian, talk.
Hi, my name's Julian. I hope you can.
Governor Ron DeSantis signed a bill from state representatives
saying we're not going to talk about climate change.
How this will affect Florida's major climate change concerns. Our DC Bureau is live. Modern problems call for modern solutions.
We need a training foam.
How scientists are planning to make firefighting more eco-friendly. Tragedy in West Florida waters.
You're waiting for him to come back and he never does.
Two friends try to save a life. And a Miami native stars in a new blockbuster everyone is going mad over.
And she said, George, why can't we do this film first?
These stories and more coming up on Newsbreak.
Hello, South Florida. I'm Benjamin Cure.
And I'm Julian Davis. Today's Thursday, May 23rd, 2024.
Live from the Lee Caplin School of Journalism and Media in North Miami. This is Caplin News.
A new state law here in Florida is getting national attention. Governor Ron DeSantis signed House Bill 1645 last week, which removed any mention of climate change from Florida policy.
But what impact will it have on Florida, and what are Floridians saying about it? Caplin News DC Bureau reporter Amelia Orjuela is live in Washington, D.C. this morning with more on this story. Good morning, Amelia.
Good morning. Governor Ron DeSantis says this bill restores sanity in Florida's approach to energy. But the FIU professor that I spoke with says this is actually a huge step backwards in fighting climate change.
This new law, taking effect July 1st, removes the term climate change from state documents, reduces regulations on gas pipelines, and prohibits the construction of offshore or nearshore wind turbines. Governor DeSantis posted on X, the legislation I signed today, House Bill 1645, House Bill 7071, and House Bill 1331, will keep windmills off of our beaches, gas in our tanks, and China out of the state, he wrote. The executive director of FIU Institute of Environment explains the potential impacts of this new law.
This political rhetoric going back and forth saying we're not going to talk about climate change, we're not going to talk about carbon dioxide, we're not going to worry about what the source of energy comes from. That's a long-term problem. If we don't get smarter, if we don't be more efficient, if we don't stop burning fossil fuels, then we're never going to mitigate carbon dioxide.
The legislation reorganized the state's energy sector by removing climate change as a priority in energy policy decisions. It eliminates renewable energy programs or requirements for the state agencies to use climate-friendly products and fuel-efficient vehicles. This has led to controversy from both sides around Florida. Raymond McGuire, a Broward resident and the director of campaigns and policy at the Climate Leadership Engagement Opportunities, expressed his concerns.
This bill talks about the importance of domestic energy production. Myself and so many Floridians are struggling with the cost of electricity.
This law also includes the beginning of stories of small nuclear reactor technologies, the improvement of vehicles running on hydrogen, and the reinforcement of electric grid securities. Reporting from Washington, D.C. for Caplin News, I'm Amelia Orjuela.
It's time to celebrate for Florida homeowners and turn the key into a new home. Around 19 insurance companies are in the process of getting a decreased rate or no increase for this year. As Caplin's Ashanti Jermosin reports, this appears to be a new positive change within the insurance market after many years of issues.
Potential good news for home buyers today, as some homeowners insurance companies here in Florida are looking to lower their rates after years of high prices.
It is a very good thing. It is progress to what we've said all along, that the market stabilization is happening.
Although this may seem like a break, some homeowners may not be seeing a decrease in their payments, and this is because of the inflation factor.
The inflation factor was instituted years ago in order to keep pace with cost of reconstruction.
I feel for the people, like I said, that are on fixed incomes.
More insurance companies may be joining the list. I've been Ashanti for Caplin News.
Florida Senator Rick Scott enters the Senate Republican leader race to replace Mitch McConnell, who he challenged in 2022 for the exact same position. He is competing against John Cornell of Texas and John Thune of South Dakota. The current minority whip is Mr. John Thune. This comes as Scott is currently up for re-election here in South Florida. As of recently, he maintains an icy relationship with Senate Republican leadership.
A court here in Florida throw out classified document charges against former President Trump. Trump is accused of taking classified files from the White House and resisting the government's attempts to retrieve them. In a hearing yesterday, U.S. District Judge Eileen Cannon heard two motions to throw out the charges against Trump and his co-defendants. She has not ruled on either motion. Meanwhile, Trump, his valet Walt Nauta, and Mar-a-Lago property manager Carlos de Oliveira all pleaded not guilty.
A community mourns 3 deaths after this morning after 2 friends tried to save another one from drowning near Fort Myers. A friend of the victims was there when one of them died and mentions how difficult this process has been for their family and friends. Caplin's Gabriela Fuentes reports.
It's just sad, like, we still can't process it. Especially my husband, he's the one that's feeling it though. Well, every one of us, especially the family. Imagine you see your son leave in the morning and you're waiting for him to come back and he never does.
Friends and family are still in shock by the tragedy. Neida Velasquez, a friend of the victim, witnessed the incident when one individual died at the Franklin Lock and Dam last Saturday.
I knew them since I started attending the church that's like right behind us. They were sweet young gentlemen that were dedicated to the work of our Lord Jesus.
Santos Tulshin, 17-year-old who didn't know how to swim, went into the water and started struggling, according to the Lee County Sheriff's Office. Pedro Pascal, 21-year-old, jumped in to try to save Santos, but also started struggling. Victor Leonardo Pedro Gaspar, 19-year-old, also jumped in to help both of them, but unfortunately, none of the 3 survived. Velasquez mentioned that 2 of the victims knew how to swim and that they were heroes for jumping in to try to help their friend.
It's actually something heroic they did to try to save their friend that was drowning, but it all sadly ended in tragedy, trying to save their one loved friend.
The Army Corps of Engineers put up a new sign in English and Spanish warning people to swim at their own risk. For Caplin News, Gabriela Fuentes.
An alternative in the fire service is underway to reduce the use of foam products with fluorinated chemicals. As Caplin News' Emma Alonso reports, the company is close to scoring a huge win in the fight against PFAS.
Eau Claire resident Dave Garley is a managing partner with Cross Plains Solutions. Garley uses his chemistry background to find more uses for one of America's major crops, soybeans. And one of his top priorities came years ago from the United Soybean Board.
They were approached by the New York Fire Department with a very key concern. We need a training foam.
A foam that fire departments could dump safely in the environment. For years, fire foams that went up against Class B fires, which involve a flammable liquid like gasoline, have contained the family of forever chemicals known as PFAS. But those chemicals don't break down in nature. Garley wants to give them a product that works just as well without the negative environmental effects.
I started formulating with soybeans because I can make soybeans foam. Do I know how they put out fires? No idea.
His current formulation is called soy foam, and unlike its artificial predecessors, it will break down in nature, a potentially groundbreaking revelation.
The first commercially available green screen certified gold fire foam, which has never been done.
And today's soy foam sample took a 28 square foot jet fuel fire and had it out within 30 seconds, passing another test to get it closer to the market. And for Garley, another step closer to making the world a safer place.
I'm not a fireman, so I can't go put out the fire, but maybe I can do my small part, is to provide the chemistry that gives our firemen a better environment to work in.
I'm Emma Alonso for Caplin News.
This morning, there are plans to have Amazon users pay for new Alexa features. The company will charge a monthly subscription service fee for the upgrade, even though pricing details have not yet been announced. Amazon has previously stated that they intend to make Alexa more conversational by utilizing artificial intelligence.
A SoFlo star plays the title character in the prequel to the blockbuster movie Mad Max Fury Road. Caplin's Jasmine Arocha reports from West Miami at one of several theaters that will have an early screening of that film later today.
As a child, my world was forever changed. My childhood, my mother, I want them back. I want them back!
Miami native Anya Taylor-Joy takes the title role in Furiosa, a Mad Max saga.
I'm Furiosa!
The darkest of angels.
Franchise creator George Miller says the concept came to him as he was developing Mad Max Fury Road, starring Charlize Theron as the older Furiosa.
I remember showing the script to Charlize before she did Fury Road, and she said, George, why can't we do this film first? Because, you know, and I said, look, we've spent years preparing the other one. We have to do it first. But this story runs directly into Fury Road.
Miller says he sought out Taylor-Joy after seeing her in Last Night in Soho.
I thought, holy cow, there's someone who could take this on. She's got that sort of mystique, a timeless quality, a wonderful intensity, almost regal.
I was lucky enough to fall in love with Furiosa through Charlize's interpretation in Fury Road. I thought that the character just was somebody who had really stuck with me. And then when I read the script, I was like, oh.
Co-star Chris Hemsworth calls working with Miller a dream.
The more I read it, because I had the script for about 2 years before we started shooting, more and more ideas kept coming to mind, you know, and the less and less I was seeing him as a villain and began to sort of feel for him and empathize.
Furiosa officially comes out tomorrow, but there are early screenings this evening in theaters across South Florida and nationwide. In West Miami, I'm Jasmine Arocha for Caplin News.
Season.
That's still ahead, and so is this story.
It was kind of like you didn't really know what was going on until he was in the boat.
A unique brush with nature for members of a rowing team. Stick around, we'll be back in 2 minutes.
Severe weather can strike anytime, anywhere, but there's a simple way to stay safe. Hey, Jim Cantori here. I stay safe in dangerous weather by planning ahead. You can stay safe too with a few easy steps. Build an inexpensive kit with supplies for your family's needs. Write down important information like phone numbers and medications. Always talk with your family and remember any pets in your planning. Be ready, be safe. Start your plan today at ready.gov/plan.
I don't know why you're so sad. You've got a roof over your head.
You gotta stop with that depression stuff. That's what white people think. You all right?
It just feels like it's coming from everywhere.
Do you want to talk about it?
You can talk to me if you're feeling sad.
Whenever you need to talk, I'm here, okay?
If you're buzzed and doing this, to make yourself feel okay to drive,
ZWX.
you're not okay to drive.
YGKLVW. Regular you.
Sea lions stow away as a crew team unexpectedly picks up a new member. Members of the UCLA rowing team were in the middle of practice when a sea lion hopped into their boat.
The team was surprised and having fun until they noticed something was wrong with the animal. Rower Logan Hibbard says she's used to seeing sea lions in the water off the Marina del Rey, but never expected to get that close to one.
He just hopped right in, so it was kind of like you didn't really know what was going on until he was in the boat.
The team named the sea lion Brew, short for Bruin. Brew was sent to the Marine Mammal Care Center in San Pedro.
The Rangers couldn't tame these Panthers, much less beat them on the ice. The Panthers traveled to Madison Square Garden to take on the New York Rangers in the first game of the Eastern Conference Final. Matthew Tkachuk set the tone early for the Panthers, scoring a goal in the first period. Tkachuk also assisted on Sam Bennett's empty netter that iced the win for Florida, giving them a 1-0 series lead heading into Friday night in Game 2 at MSG.
Find someone who randomly surprises you midweek like the Marlins do. They took on the Milwaukee Brewers in a series tiebreaker. In the Marlins' first at-bat, Jazz Chisholm Jr. hit a home run for what would be the only run scored all game. Marlins pitcher Jesus Luzardo kept the Brewers scoreless through 8 innings. The bullpen finish of the shutout. Final score, Marlins 1, Milwaukee 0. That's 3 series wins in a row for the Fish.
That's all the time we have for Newsbreak. I'm Benjamin Cure.
And I'm Julian Davis. Get more news anytime at caplinnews.fiu.edu.